Good afternoon, Coolest Coast. It is time for an episode of Coffee on the Coast, Book Banter. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Coffee on the Coast. Delighted to welcome back Therese Horstketter of Manitowoc Public Library for another episode of Book Banter. Hi, Therese.
Hi, good to be here again.
Have you been reading a lot recently?
Yes, I actually read a few books in less than a couple weeks. There have been some really good ones rolling across my recliner. I don't usually recline, then I'd really not get any reading done, but
That might put me to sleep. A number of times
yeah.
I've reclined while reading and then I get bonked in the face when Cool. Well, let's dig in with your book recommendations. I love the cover of this first one. It's called Speak of the Devil, a
Oh,
novel by Rose Wilding, and it
yeah.
says 7 angry women, 1 dead man. Okay, tell us
Mhm.
more.
Well, this one, I don't remember where I heard about it, and this is a debut novel. So I'm hoping that she comes along with some more that are just as good. Um, this one I was recommending to a lot of coworkers here. It starts out, and it tells you this in the blurb: 7 women sitting in a room, and a head in the middle of them, which they are not all expecting. And one of them caused this to happen, and any of them would have reason to have done this to this man. And he is really a horrid man in many different ways. And yeah, and somebody ended up doing it.
So the women
So
know each other. The women are
they,
familiar with
they
one another.
somewhat know each other, a few of them in different ways, but it wasn't easy to figure out. And they go through, some of the people reoccur here or there, knowing each other in different ways. And it was just really a good book. Started out and just kept going.
So the one dead man, he's not horrid for just a day. It sounds like he's
No, no, he's been horrid for a long time. Yes.
So, without giving anything away, is there like one incident that ends up being the breaking point that he ends up the one dead man?
Well, with one person finally, but everybody kind of had a breaking point with him. So along the way, you're like, oh, maybe this one. And, it makes
Hmm.
its way around. The bad thoughts are with him always, pretty much, at some point with each person.
I hope none of us have a run in with a person like you're describing.
Yeah, I hope not.
Okay, Speak of the Devil, a debut
Yep.
novel by Rose Wilding. That sounds great.
Yes.
Okay, so then what about this one? When Life Gives You Pears. This is by Jeannie Gaffigan, who's married to Jim Gaffigan, a
Yep.
pretty hilarious comedian.
Yeah. And 5 kids, and she started having some health issues and was diagnosed with a pear-shaped tumor in her brain. And so it does lead you up to that, but you also pretty much know that's what the book is talking about. But I love his comedy, and she is to me as funny as he is. And I think she writes with him for some things. And I know that they work together in some capacity, but she definitely, this was, even though it's a hard subject, it was an easy read and a good read and hilarious in spots. And of course, terrifying in others with what's happening in the book.
Yeah. So this is a story about her life. This is
Right?
okay, autobiographical.
Yes.
Do you know the outcome? Is there hope for her condition?
It does get through enough that you know what's happening with her, and um, complications that she has along the way. And but yes, it finalizes for you in a decent way to have her writing the book about it.
Okay.
So that's, at least there's that it's not someone else writing about her not being here any longer.
Yeah,
So,
right,
but
right.
it was really a good read. I enjoyed it. Well, her humor is there, like, she says right in the cover, the healing power of family, faith, and funny people. And yeah, she was lucky for a couple of the people that she had in her life that directed her in the right way. And yeah,
Aw, well, it seems beneficial too that she's got a positive outlook, even though she's confronted with such a
yep,
dark situation.
yeah, definitely. And I think everybody has to have, no matter what your general outlook on life is, you're all good. I think anybody's going to be at probably a losing point somewhere, but she definitely had good people to help her along, and her outlook. And in fact, in some spots she'll say, I'm going to give you the Jesus thing now, but that kind of thing. But it's not all that. It's, yeah, a little of everything that helped her through a lot.
So I know in his comedy, Jim Gaffigan often jokes
Hmm.
about the number of kids that they have.
Oh yeah.
Does she joke around like that too?
She does, because I think the very beginning was that she said she herds the kids in, like, if she can, for one doctor visit at a time. So, it's not all these separate appointments. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Funny. Okay,
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So then let's talk about Everyone Here is Lying by Sherry LaPena. And it says, the most addictive book I've read in ages.
And I like that author too, Lisa Jewell, that gave that little blurb there on the cover. She's a good author too.
Oh, okay.
And Sherry LaPena has a good handful of books that are good. But this one, so I had read the Someone Here is Lying, or no, I'm sorry, I'm mixing up my titles. The other one with the birds on the cover, Speak of the Devil. There we go. So I read Speak of the Devil, and I thought I read that really fast, and it was great. And then I read this one, and it was like, it's even better. It's like, you went from one really good book and grabbed another one. So that was great.
Lucky. Yeah.
Yes, it was very lucky. And this one starts out with a couple, two married people who casually know each other from living in the same area, but they are having an affair. And she breaks it off as the book starts. So he's upset and goes home expecting to be alone, and just, kids are at school, wife is at work, and he's going to get himself settled after this. And he ends up having a fight with his daughter, or words, I guess, with his daughter, that something happens with him losing his temper. And the next thing is the daughter is missing. And no one knows what happened to her. And it goes from there. When it says everyone here is lying, well, there was him and the woman having the affair. So they're both lying to spouses and family and friends. But then up and down this street, there are lies in a lot of places that start coming out, because everybody gets involved. And then the thing that also is very striking in here is how some people start looking at other people and their attitude, with just looking at a neighbor and saying, well, I think you should look at him, kind of thing.
Oh.
And for different reasons. And it was a really good book.
So you kind of raced through it. It just.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was, I said this one out of, well, these two here. I mean, I really read the other one pretty quickly. This one I said I could have, if I hadn't had to go to work, I would have, I think it would be a book I could say I would have read in one sitting.
Wow.
That, and I never get to do that. And yeah, this one really kept me going. This was good.
So the author is Sherry LaPena, and it says she's the author of The Couple Next Door. And I remember you recommended that a while back on this show.
Yeah,
And that was a pretty good story.
that was a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, viewers, if you remember that, The Couple Next Door, there was a couple and they had a baby, and they went to a party next door and had like the baby monitor with them. But when they got home, the baby was missing.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah,
She
all
has
sorts of complications unfold, and
Yep, she has a good touch. She has a good, yeah, yeah, she's got a good way with her stories.
okay.
Very good.
Excellent. What a good recommendation. Okay,
Yeah.
so then we've got one more book recommendation for you today, and this is called Mrs. Plansky's Revenge by Spencer Quinn.
This is a different one for me. Spencer Quinn writes the Chet and Bernie books that are about a detective and his dog, and Chet the dog kind of narrates them.
Okay.
And so it might sound a little hokey, but they're good books. They are good reads. They have a lot of humor to them. And anyways, so this is a standalone, a first one that I've read by Spencer Quinn that was not in those. I've read like maybe 4 of those. And this is about a woman who is a senior, and her husband is gone, and she gets a call from her grandson saying, I'm on a trip and this happened and I need money.
Oh no, scam alert.
Uh-huh. And it goes from there. And you can imagine why she wants revenge.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's, I think everybody's nightmare in the first place that you'd get a call like that and then have to decide, or maybe be caught so surprisingly that you're ready to help. If this is your grandchild that needs help, and not thinking through, don't do that, but and really complicates her life. And then you get the other side, though, of the people who are doing this to people. And not saying that they have another side that makes it okay, but
Right.
You get to see how they go about plotting to do this. And then it all comes together. And
two people locally mentioned that they got that kind of a phone call. So really, just viewers, if you do get that kind of a call, please, please, please don't fall for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a thing that popped up in email years ago that was someone that I knew, but they never would have emailed me for this. And yeah, so
Yeah.
it's really, really a hard thing that people use other people,
Yeah. So does Mrs. Plansky get her revenge in the end?
Oh, well, it's saying Mrs. Plansky's revenge. So we will leave this discussion assuming
well, what I think is
without saying exactly what happens.
No spoilers on this show. But it does, the cover blurb says, I absolutely adored this book. And then I was surprised to see that it was Stephen King.
Stephen King, I know. It's just kind of funny that the different authors that you see with books you might not expect.
Yeah. So does this have is there like a Stephen King-ness about this story, or not necessarily?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just someone that he enjoys reading. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What a great selection. All right, so Therese Horstketter of Manitowoc Public Library has recommended today Mrs. Plansky's Revenge, a novel by Spencer Quinn. And then Everyone Here is Lying, another novel by Sherry LaPena. And then she recommended When Life Gives You Pears by Jeannie Gaffigan. And Speak of the Devil, a novel by Rose Wilding.
Mhm. All good books.
I'm so excited. I wish I
Yeah.
could just stop what I was doing right now to start reading. I just got a new pair of earbuds and I had them in yesterday. And Jason was apparently behind me talking to me for about 5 minutes. I heard nothing. So I'm thinking they'll be perfect for listening to a book on tape.
I'm not sure where he plays into that, if that's just how that's meant.
I was just surprised because usually if I have earbuds in, I can still hear if
Oh,
somebody's trying to get my
yeah.
attention. And he was just laughing because he knew they were new, so he was kind of testing them out too. And I had no idea he was there, which could actually be kind of dangerous. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Thanks so much for being here today.
Oh, it's been fun.
You've been watching Coffee on the Coast. This was an episode of Book Banter with Therese Horstketter from Manitowoc Public Library. I'm your host today, Tina Prigge. We hope we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.